It's your boy, or not your boy. Mostly, here. This is a Lord Potato. I don't know. Yeah. So here. This is a Lord Potato. This is what if Naruto was a reincarnation of Doflamingo. Other than that, let me begin. This is what if. Let me shut the fuck up. And yeah, this is part 6, and I really want to end this off on part 6 if I can. Maybe, but whatever. Let me just begin to this what if. Let me shut the fuck up. But yeah, so I already did part 5 yesterday. It was already it was only 24 minutes. I did a recap, so no recap right now because it hasn't been 1 month. Truly, it hasn't been one because it literally been only like 17 hours or 7 hours. 8? 10? I don't fucking remember. Not the point. Let me begin this one. Let me shut the fuck up and let me fucking begin. So we begin into mostly Naruto. Naruto is right now sitting in the stands, or not even sitting in the stands. He's right now sitting above like everyone, kind of above the stands, mostly like top of it, and watching the next battles. The next battle would have been Shikamaru versus Tomari. But the problem is, Shikamaru already lost, so that's the thing. So next is actually Tomari versus, well, Hakin. Hakin was actually fighting against Tomari. This is where Tomari fought against mostly Hakin. This is where, well, both of them uses different styles. Tomari uses wind style to try to blast Hakin away, but Hakin used ice style, and ice wall to block it. This is where she starts throwing senbons made out of ice, trying to hit mostly, well, Tomari. Tomari says, huh. Your skill, I see. So you have the Hydra Sun. This is where Hawkins says, ice style, ice illusions. This is where, well, she kind of made an illusion by making it seem that there's multiple Hawkins right now rushing at mostly, well, Tomari. Tomari says, you think that will work against me? Wind tornado. This is where, well, she's flat her fan really hard to make a wind tornado appear, destroying all the illusions. This is where, well, Tomari says, what? They're just illusions. This is where, well, mostly someone says, of course they're illusions. You really think I would have wasted my chakra on a weakling like you? This is where Tomari tries to turn around until a Senbon smashes into her, like, neck. This is where, well, she was shocked. This is where, well, she can't move her neck no more. This is where, well, she was paralyzed right now. But she can't even use, name out jutsus. But of course, she flapped her kind of fan really hard to try to turn around towards mostly where Hawking would have been at. But there was no more Hawking. Hawking then just throws multiple Senbons into mostly Tomari. Tomari cannot react fast enough because thanks to that ice kind of hitting a pressure point in her neck, not knocking her out specifically, but kind of can't turn her neck. This is where, well, multiple Senbons just smashes into mostly Tomari, right now making her fall down because her body just went paralyzed. This is where, well, Hawking says, pathetic. You're not taking away Minma from me, you slutty bitch. This is where, well, mostly Tomari says, you fucker. This is where, well, we'll see Tomari got knocked out because she got kicked in the face. This is where Hawking smiles and says, it feels refreshing that I had to knock out a bitch. Now I gotta go after that damn Hyuga. So mostly Hawking's acting kind of yandere for mostly Minma, but not the point. Minma feels very, very, very kind of terrified with Hawking for some reason. This is where, well, we'll see Naruto was watching this and kind of saying, sheesh. She's acting kind of yandere. I wonder how this is going to work when we're older. This is where, well, we'll see Naruto thinks in his head, but this is where Kurama says, well, your brother is going to have 0 fangirls and also 0 girls to populate the clan for the Uzumaki, or mostly the Namikaze, because Hawking is going to be hugging him all the time, basically just making him hers, just all for herself. So she basically is a yandere. So yeah, you get the point of what's going to happen next. A lot of villager girls are going to die if they try to go after, well, mostly Menma for his Uzumaki or Namikaze blood. Shit. That's great. Man, I wonder how Sarina will feel about me. This is where, well, right now Kurama says, hey, how she feels about you is pretty easy. She's basically loves you. Are you sure? Oh, come on, kid. Do you not see the notice and signs? Or whatever, you can see that when you're older. Right now, you're still a child. So just ignore it and continue on with the battle. And besides, we gotta be careful with the Mizukage and also the Kazekage. Why? the Kazekage feels like he wants to do something. Can't you feel it with your observation hawking? Can't you see into the future? Okay, I can't see that far into the future. Can you see that far into the future? Not entirely, but wouldn't it be better to add observation hawking, your advanced observation hawking, your mostly future sight, with my chakra to see even further into the future? Is that a thing? This is where, well, Kurama says it was. It's not that, what's it called? Well, it's not a big deal to not try. Besides, what's the worst thing that can happen to you if you try? Other people will sense me? Shit, you're right. Fine. We do that until the very end because I already have bad feeling with the Mizukage and Kazekage. Got it. This is where we'll see Naruto keeps watching. This is where, well, the next battle is actually, well, Conqueror versus Menma. Well, yeah, Menma. This is where Menma is sleeping. He's yawning. No. Or not fighting against Conqueror. He's actually going to go against Gaara, but not the point. This is where, well, we'll see Sarina is actually fighting against Conqueror. Conqueror says, I guess I'm going to go against a weak leaf ninja. I guess I already went against one of those. This is where, well, Sarina says, the hell did you just call me? Weak? No one calls me ever weak. This is where, well, Sarina kind of gets annoyed with this cocky, arrogant person because she hates cocky people. And this is where she makes blood and ice cinema and launches them straight towards what's called Conqueror. And this is where, well, Conqueror right now makes his puppet appear. Stab into the puppet. But this is where, well, we'll see Sarina says, blood cell, blood explosion. This is where, well, the blood symbol smashed into the puppet. Kaboom! The ice symbols froze the pieces of the, what's it called? Mostly, well, the pieces of the puppet. This is where Conqueror says, shit, what the? This is where, well, he realized that he wasn't going to win this. He kind of, well, mostly they aren't supposed to, well, they're supposed to win, but they still have to have a lot of chakra to fight into the war. But this is where, well, the fight between the Leaf Ninja and other things because of his father. But this is where, well, a blood symbol smashes into Conqueror right now, making sure that his actual body was actually taking control. And he said, shit. This is where Hawking then appears with multiple ice symbols and says, come here, porcupine. Well, I mean, you already do look like a porcupine. I'll help you out. This is where she created her ice symbols to be literally bigger. They're literally 12 inches. And this is where, well, Conqueror said, hey, we can talk about this. No, Hawking literally says, no, I hate it. This is where, oh, she stabs into Conqueror multiple times. Conqueror was screaming in pain, and this is where Naruto was seeing this. And holy damn. Holy damn, she's actually cute when she does that. This is where, well, we'll see Kurama says, the fuck is wrong with you, kid? Okay, you know what, never mind. You are into some other shit, okay? This is where, well, we'll see Naruto say, fuck you. Besides, she's actually really cute when she kills people or hurt them really bad. Yeah, you are crazy half the time, kid. Kurama said, I'm going back to sleep, kid. Fuck off, you fox. This is where, well, we go into mostly Sarina says, well, now you look like a frozen porcupine. She had a very psychotic grin on her face because, well, she kind of got, well, mostly this face when, well, mostly she kind of copied the same face when mostly Naruto is in a murder spree, but yeah. She kind of got influenced by Naruto's murder spree, but yeah. This is where, well, she was kind of walking away while Conqueror was right now crying, saying, please, help me. This is where the practice say, Sarina wins. We need medics for Conqueror here. This is where, well, Sarina goes back, and this is where she sees her father, and her father swatches up and says, you got that from your mother, didn't you? This is where Sarina says, I don't know what you're talking about, Papa. I didn't get anything from my mother. My mother just trained me really well in using ice style. This is where Razano says, yeah, really well. This is where he remembers mostly his wife one time being quite murderous and quite bloodthirsty to any, like, Miss Ninjas or any, what's it called? Well, any, like, girls entirely. This is where, well, he remembers that mostly every Hydra-chan user, probably from the female side, becomes quite yandere for some reason. This is where, well, he just doesn't understand why. He really does not understand. I mean, it might be a curse in the whole Hydratron user family, which half of them become yandere as hell, but he doesn't understand. This is where, well, we'll see. He just said, I thought my blood manipulation and my blood genes would be able to stop her yandere side from being there. Well, Naruto is a lucky boy, at the same time quite unlucky. I don't think he wanted any other girls. I don't care. This is where we'll go into a time skip of mostly the next battle being, well, mostly just other random battles. But this is where, well, the last one is actually, well, Menma's and then Gaara's. This is where, well, Menma falls asleep, literally goes down on the ground, puts a barrier, the silent barrier, and this is where, well, he falls asleep. But yeah. Also, I should mention something. Yes, I fucking, well, mostly when I was doing this what if, I realized that there was actual, well, not realized. When I was doing this what if, like, mostly a year ago, I realized one thing after kind of rewatching. I forgot completely about the barrier guy. You know, the actual barrier guy, not the silence dome that fucking, well, Menma has. I'm just going to combine the two, like, mostly he also has the barrier kind of ability, thanks to Kurama kind of using chakra in it, but yeah. So, not the point. And also armor hawking, but not the point. This is where, well, he kind of just falls asleep in it, but yeah. So, it's kind of still has the barrier thing, but yeah. But this is where, well, mostly, Gaara got annoyed and sent a giant wave of sand. He tried to destroy mostly Menma, and never affected him. The barrier literally still there. He keeps sending multiple attacks, at least, sand spikes, even trying to hit him from underneath, and it never fucking worked. Because the barrier is literally all around him. This is where, well, Gaara says, "Fight me, you goddamn brat! You!" This is where, well, before it kind of keeps continuing on, he's getting more and more angry and rage until mostly Menma wakes up and says, "Huh? Oh, you're annoying also." Well, mostly he can't hear this guy, but of course, this is where, well, the silent barrier does like silent everything outside. So, of course, there's nothing. This is where, well, mostly, right now we go into Gaara saying, "Damn it! Why won't you fight me?" This is where, well, mostly Shikamaru says, "Man, I want a bit like that. I would love to sleep in the middle of a battle like that." This is where, well, mostly Ino says, "You would love to sleep anywhere." Exactly, Shikamaru said. This is where, well, everyone is square chopping as to see most of them, and I've been fucking trying. And making the kid who is from the sand village right now enrage. This is where, well, mostly someone in Menma says, "Hey kid, you know you should probably start trying." Really? I should? Yeah. Maybe use a bit of my power. Fine, okay. Yes, I understand. Thank you for letting me know. Yawn. This is where he wakes up. This is where, well, mostly he goes through hand sights and says, "Water style. Water tsunami." This is where he smashes his ground towards the, what's it called? Ground? This is where an erupt water, like mostly from underneath, just smashes into Gaara. Gaara was shocked. His sand is all soggy and other things. It's heavy to move. This is where he's just wanting his eyes. And this is where, well, Menma says, "Earth style. Earth spikes doom." This is where, well, earth spikes appear all around mostly Gaara. And of course, instead of Gaara using his sand now, he gets stabbed. This is where, well, mostly before he can even continue on, these chakra things, mostly these chakra jutsu takes a lot of chakra. But since Kurama is feeling mostly, well, Menma's kind of, well, chakra, mostly chakra just pull is not taking too much. This is where, well, mostly he then goes into another hand signs. Wind star, wind tornado. This is where he sends a wind tornado to smash upon Gaara. And Gaara was right now launched up in the sky. And this is where Gaara is like, "I need to use Shikaku." This is where, well, mostly before anything else happens, this is where, well, right now, Menma rushes straight towards the car. Gaara, this is where he uses the silent barrier, and this is where, well, he then punches the shit out of Gaara. Right now, everyone should have heard a crash, but luckily the sound barrier was still around him. He then smashes to the ground. This is where, well, it was Armor Hawking that he punched him, and it wasn't advanced, but this is where it knocked the hell out of Gaara. Gaara right now, sand starts slowly moving, and actually becoming faster a while. This is where, well, mostly it was none other than Shikaku being released. This is where, well, Menma says, "What the?" This is where, well, Kurama says, "Move, kid." This is where, well, Menma does. He jumps away. This is where the ball appears, and this is where Shikaku says, "Yeah, I'm free." This is where he exploded from the sound, kind of, well, not sound, mostly the sand ball. And this is where he says, "I'm going to kill all of you. With you also, you blonde-haired bastard." But before anything else can happen, this is where, well, right now, the Hokage has to dodge two attacks. One water attack and the other golden sand attack. This is where he jumps away, and it's actually the Kazukage and Mizukage attacking him. Right now, this is where, well, we'll see the opposite appears right now protecting the Hokage. This is where, well, the bodyguards of mostly the Kazekage and also the Mizukage appears. The Kazekage shows to be none other than Oshimaru. This is where, well, the Hokage says, "You're supposed to be dead." This is where, well, the, what's it called? Oshimaru says, "Me? Dead? Yeah, right. I don't die that easily. That brat must have been annoying, but whatever." This is where, well, right now the Hokage says, "Why are you doing this, Mizukage?" Mizukage kind of just seems blankly kind of not answering. "Oh, don't worry about the Mizukage. I asked also a group of organization to take out the two Chinchuriki brats, especially that of Naruto Uzumaki, also known as Doflamingo. Who really cares?" This is where, well, a group of mostly, it seems a group of, well, bounty hunters, but there were actually like mercenaries at the same time. But it was none other than the group of the Akashis appearing. This is where Obito actually appeared right next to Naruto and says, "So you seem to be the Naruto Shinshiriki." This is where, well, mostly Naruto says, "Oh, interesting. Who are you exactly?" This is where Naruto turns around. "My name? Oh, is no one." "Well, it's now my concern that you're actually annoying." This is where Naruto walks up to mostly the, well, mostly 5, I think he was like 5'7" or something, while Naruto is 6 feet. This is where, well, mostly Obito says, "Whatever, bruh. I would have came here to let you join us, because clearly you do not like this village." "I might not like this village, but I don't like you." This is where, well, mostly Naruto sends a powerful armament hawking coated leg. This is where, well, Obito, he thinks he's going to phase through. No, he gets kicked right into his, like, stomach, launching his shit into the fucking, well, ground. Obito was shocked. He wasn't expecting his combo week to be just ignored. Because mostly, well, you see here, armament hawking just nullifies anything. Anything that's considered to be, well, yeah, you going, it's kind of like, well, commonly we always think of it as kind of like a Logia, so yeah. So it's able to just destroy anything, even that of chakra coated kind of things. But yeah, that's why chakra, like from Gaara Sandwich, is not affecting mostly the barrier from mostly Menmas, because it's made out of armament at the same time it's made out of chakra Kurama. So it really never affected him. This is where, well, mostly Obito is shocked, but this is where Obito tries to get up and says, "Why you?" This is where, well, Naruto right now uses his strings to appear right all over, what's it called, Obito. And before Obito can even do anything, he already gets grabbed and manipulated. This is where, well, he is shocked. He's right now using his arms without him even knowing it. This is where, well, White Zetsu actually appears and tries to attack mostly, well, Naruto from mostly Obito's body. This is where Naruto kills in an instant by just flicking his hand once. This is where, well, it cut it into a million pieces. This is where Obito says, "Damn it." How? This is where, well, Naruto grabs the mask, breaks it off of Obito and says, "Not gonna lie, you look ugly as shit. You know what you look like? You look like a fucking dried ass motherfucker. You need some chapstick, you need a lot of shit, but who cares right now? You're dead." This is where he grabs Obito from the neck and started choking the shit out of him. "Obito, no, I need to make yeah." This is where, well, right now Naruto crushes his neck, his windpipes, drops his shit to the ground and says, "Pathetic." This is where, well, he then uses his strings to just cut it into a million pieces. This is where, well, he hears something called Almighty Push. This is where, well, Naruto had no time to dodge it. This is where he wind his eyes. This is where he's trying to make his strings to right now block the wind attack, but this is where the Almighty Push just is a force, so of course it smashes into him right now, launching him everywhere. Like a bunch of people got launched. This is where Memos also launched, even though he tries to make the barrier, which he managed to kind of not get hurt too much. But yeah, Shikako is laughing there. "Yeah, I can go free." He's in a different place of the village. He was already gone. Naruto was now trying to get up. This is where, well, he was shocked. He was like, "What the hell is that?" This is where, well, mostly Naruto was confused, but this is where, well, someone from mostly Hiran appears and also Kazutora, Kazu? No. Fuck, how the hell did I forget him? So Kazukaku actually appears. This is where mostly they say, "So, you're Doflamingo, the string user." This is where, almost see, Doflamingo looks up. And this is where, well, he looked at the new people, and this is where, well, they were kind of just laughing mostly Hira, and this is where, well, he says, "Well, he's going to be a nice sacrifice to Lord Joshin." Kazakaku says, "You idiot. We need him because he has the 9-touch Cherokee. We cannot kill him right now. This is where Naruto's confused. He hears a ringing in his ears. He feels like lightheaded. This is where we'll see someone in his head says, "Hey kid, you're going to have to wake up the fuck sooner because a Cypher's about to hit you." Huh? This is where he blocks with Armorman Hawking to his hand, and this is where mostly Hidan says, "Huh? How the?" This is where mostly Naruto kind of right now closes his eyes. Right now thinks for a second. This is where he returns everything back. He just flowed chakra around his body. This is where he grabs the damn scythe and right now cuts into a million pieces thanks to his strings. This is where he had enough of this shit. He right now got so pissed that he literally grabbed freaking Hidan from the face and right now uses his strings to right now go all around freaking Hidan's body and just cut him into a million pieces. He might be immortal, but he isn't going to regen fast enough to actually be able to come back. I mean, he's immortal, but he's cut to literally a million pieces. But yeah, this is where you want me actually. So Kakuzu, Kakuzu kind of just says, "Damn it, that fucking moron." This is where, he decides to use his strings just because he should be fighting against another string user. And just where, mostly Naruto is feeling so tired, so weak also. Well, not tired or weak, he's just kind of getting angry and annoyed. He uses Conqueror's Haki to right now blast through mostly what's it called? Well, Kakuzu. This is where, or Kazuto. Yeah, Kazuto. I don't fucking know why I'm fucking up his name much worse than anything. But this is where, mostly he gets hit by this Conqueror's Haki, and this is advanced Conqueror's Haki. This is where he feels like his strings just went back to normal. He went back to normal. He was confused. He was like, "What the?" This is where Naruto says, "You bastard. Daring to think I didn't know about your mask? I found out your weak point. My arbitration Hawking." Mostly, he noticed from arbitration Hawking that he actually evolved into something else. It's called future sight, but it's also called weak points. He can actually find the weakness points from actually other people. This is where he uses strings to go through his mask and just rip through them. This is where he only had 4 masks and killing him in an instant. Saying pathetic. He's now walking away from mostly those two and starts walking towards the next battle. This is where, mostly a lot of things is happening. This is where he's trying to find where Sarina or even Hawking or Menma was at. This is where he kind of rushes towards Menma because he can feel mostly Menma right now getting defeated. This is where, his life force is right now depleting. When freaking Naruto gets there, he sees none other than Menma kind of, having a sword wound to his stomach. And right now, this is where 2 people are right now above him. Deidara and Sasori. This is where, mostly Sasori says, "Are we supposed to kill him?" "Well, entirely," Deidara says. "I don't care. Arson explosion. Who cares? I mean, I think so, or I think we're supposed to take the 9-toes out of him. But we're killing him slowly. What do we do?" "Well, we should." This is where, they feel this explosion amount of right now Conqueror's talking. This murderous intent from Naruto. This is where they turn around to see none other than Naruto so pissed. This is where, both Deidara and even Sasori right now rushes at, Sasori sends his puppets and Deidara sends his explosion. But none of it hits him because of the explosive amounts of Conqueror's Hawking, advanced Conqueror's Hawking. It just nullifies everything. But this is where something else, something happens to Sasori. Sasori about to summon all his puppets, what she does, and says, "This guy is dangerous, very dangerous." This is where Deidara says, "It doesn't matter, art is an explosion." But before even going to do an explosion, he noticed Sasori, and this is where strings were all appearing around him. He was confused until the strings literally was none other than, Naruto's awakening. Naruto has now awakened his devil fruit to the max. This is where, not just that, but the strings started becoming a very reddish and orangey color. Yes, Kurama's power is right now leaking off of Naruto. And Naruto looks at the 2 right now who hurted his brother. And this is where, Naruto says, "You will pay for hurting him." This is where, strings started rushing straight towards Sasori. And before Sasori can even do anything, his puppets were right now ripped and shredded too easily. This is where Sasori says, "What? This is impossible." This is where Sasori tries to use his puppet that's mostly he's hiding in, but the strings right now appear all around, cutting him into a million pieces. Theodore tries to fly up and saying, "Well, luckily he can't get me no more up here." This is where, someone says, "Who can't get you, boy?" This is where, mostly none other than Naruto appear up there. And his voice is deep and malicious like Doflamingo's. Doflamingo's. So, of course, mostly Naruto's pisses, mostly glasses. The red shade glasses are glowing like a menacing color. This is where strings appear all around, well, Deidara sent explosions, and none of the strings could actually be even torn, ripped, or just exploded. This is where Deidara say, no! Spiderweb of Doom. This is where, well, before mostly, how should I say, well, not spiderweb, spiderweb of Doom. This is where, well, before even Deidara could do anything, he was literally ripped and shredded into nothing but pieces. This is where, well, the ball literally closes in with Deidara and just went, but yeah, he was dead. This is where, well, mostly Deidara was now dead. But we go into the next battle. Mostly, well, not next battle, mostly Naruto landing towards mostly, well, Menma. Menma was actually being healed thanks to Kurama, and this is where, well, he was happy. But realized he has awakened his devil fruit. This is where, well, now that he has awakened his devil fruit awakening range is pretty far. So what he does is basically now just makes a cage bird around the whole village. This is where, well, this should be much easier to kind of letting the, with Akatsu's and ninjas who are actually right now raiding the hell out of the Leaf Village, right now being enclosed. This is where, well, he also makes a strings thanks to his awakening. Right now, grab all the civilians and everyone that was in the cage bird and throw them outside. Even Menma, Sarina, Hawking, and everyone else. This is where all the kind of evil, like ninjas, were confused. They see the strings and were confused. Someone right now tries to rush through it because they see this like small gap and they get cut so easily. People are just horrified. The enemy ninjas are horrified. This is where, well, it's also did in case mostly the kind of battle of, well, where Sarutobi and Zabazar are fighting against the Mizukage, or Chamaru and the other Kages. Or Chamaru was confused and said, what the? This is where, well, mostly we go into mostly Suzaku, or not Suzaku, mostly Shikaku. Shikaku says, what is this? This is nothing. His arm was literally cut instantly. What the? I can't even break through this. What is this? This is where, well, mostly he's going to die. There's no one that can escape these strings because they have coated armor and Hawking, and they can just cut through everything at this point. This is where, well, he is shocked. He's trying to break through, but no one can break through. People who use their swords to try to cut down the strings, their swords get cut down, and they get cut down also. This is where, well, mostly they cannot fight back. This is where, well, mostly we go into right now. The Diva, or mostly the Sixth Path of Pain, right now confused. This is where they notice Naruto walking with a menacing step. This is where he's knocking out every enemy ninja he walks by. Just as Conqueror's Hawking is knocking them all out. It's a small bit, but he's just knocking them all out. He noticed the leader, the Sixth Path of Pain, rushing straight towards him. And this is where, well, he awakened his devil fruit. So, of course, he launches a string barrier around him. Literally, just a string wave barrier around him. Just smash upon the Sixth Path of Pain. One of them, who's a chakra path, tried to absorb the chakra, but they got cut down. This is where the Sixth Path of Pain widen their eyes. The Diva path says, almighty push! This is where, well, mostly the strings appear right now, blocking the attack. This is where, well, mostly the Sixth Path of Pain widen their eyes when the mostly almighty push just didn't do shit. You say you're a god, when you're not even a god. What is a god to a non-believer? Mostly Naruto appear right next to mostly, well, the Sixth Path of Pain being the Diva Path. Before the Diva Path can even do anything, this is where Naruto grabs its arms, rip them off of the mechanic body, grab its head, and right now crush it in an instant. This is where the other path widened eyes, which Nagato widened his eyes. He wasn't expecting this. This is bad. This kid is much more dangerous than anything. This is where, well, Naruto knows that they're fakes. So, of course, uses just strings, and this is where string spikes right now smash upon them and kill them all. This is where, well, he was like narrowing his eyes straight towards where he can actually sense where the actual real body will be at. He then kind of pulls out his fingers to literally be like that of a gun, and this is where he starts launching string bullets straight to the direction of where mostly Nagato was at. This is where, well, he uses arbitration, and this is where, well, since his arbitration is actually pretty good in range because he's right now so pissed. This is where, well, his like mostly Nine-Tails chakra actually flooded his arbitration Hawking to be the same as mostly that of Usan's kind of Hawking, that range of very farness. This is where he says sniper rifle shots. This is where pa 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 pa. This is where, well, before Nagato can do anything, Conan didn't see any of this shit, but this is where bullet smashes into Nagato, his eyes, and even just his body entirely. This is where Conan says, Nagato, no! She was just wide her eyes, horrified, and seeing how Nagato just got killed in an instant. It was none of the Nine-Tails brat who just did this. But how? They were so far away. It couldn't be. Unless the kid is more dangerous than they expected. This is where, well, Naruto sees the leftover remaining ninjas and just kills them all. This is where, well, he noticed Shikaku and appeared right in front of Shikaku, right now in front of Gaara, and didn't care less. He right now swings his hands down with the strings, rip Gaara apart. This is where Shikaku said, no! But yeah, he did not care. He killed Gaara in an instant. This is where the Sand Ninjas were just doomed because they were dying slowly. The strings killed them. They had nowhere to run, nowhere to go. This is where, well, we go into Naruto appearing into the barrier. He shattered through the barrier in an instant and uses its own strength that would coat with armor and Hawking to kill the two Kages. Mostly the two kind of Hokages. This is where Orochimaru says, what the? This is impossible! What are you? This is where, well, he screams at Naruto. My name? My name is Doflamingo! That's where, well, he right now rushes towards mostly Orochimaru. Orochimaru summons a snake, but this is where Naruto puts his leg with some strings and uses an armament Hawking and just swings his leg straight towards the snake, cutting it and of course almost hitting Orochimaru, just cutting, well, the remaining kind of things behind him. This is where, well, mostly Orochimaru won his eyes. This kid is more dangerous. He starts kind of sending attacks straight towards Naruto. Naruto didn't care. The Mizukage did become into his like transformation and tried to attack Naruto. Naruto grabbed him from the face. Literally just grabbing from the face. Just having armor Hawking, but advanced armor Hawking. This is where he added mostly the advanced armor Hawking into mostly the flow of energy, into mostly the Mizukage's head. Boom! It exploded his head. This is where Orochimaru won his eyes. Naruto did not care about mercy. There's no such thing as mercy in his eyes. There is no such thing as at all of that. This is where Naruto's mostly glasses fell off of his face, showing his reddish, and I mean, well, not reddish, purplish eyes. There is no such mercy. There's no such thing as mercy in his eyes. This is where, well, Naruto noticed one thing. Orochimaru is a pain in the ass and is annoying him the hell out of him. This is where, well, Naruto right now says, I did remember learning how to do this. It's similar to that of the Shinigami. This is where almost see Orochimaru says, what do you mean? Shinigami strings. This is where he added armament Hawking, since mostly armament Hawking is out of spiritual energy. And of course it's the will of mostly the soul and other things. But this is where, well, he added mostly like this, his own soul energy to grab onto mostly Orochimaru. This is where, well, mostly Orochimaru says, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is where, well, advancing the, well, mostly the increased fluctuation of spiritual energy. That means I'm pulling all the remaining souls that are around the whole world, that wherever you have been trapped in, right now return to your original body. What? No, you can't do this. That means you actually kill me for real. No, I'm immortal. You bastard. This is where, well, Doflamingo says, and do I look like I give a damn? I make sure your life force dies. My life force, I might die sooner than ever. But for you, it'd be better for you to die. This is where, mostly, right now, making Orochimaru wind his eyes. Multiple souls fragments are smashing into his body, saying, Orochimaru is saying, no, you can't, you need me. This is where, right now, making Doflamingo says, need you? Who do you think I am? Why would I need such a pathetic weakling like you in my life? You are wrong. I don't need shit. I am Doflamingo, the man, the god, the heavenly demon himself. This is where, well, right now making him just use all the power of kind of soul energy into mostly just putting it back into mostly Orochimaru, just patching it up with the strings. And this is where, well, right now dropping Orochimaru says, no, I need to. You know what? You'll be the perfect vessel for it. And I tried to attack mostly him with a curse bite, but this is where, well, the bite never hurt Naruto because armor Hawking says, what? This is where, well, Orochimaru's face was grabbed, and this is where Naruto says, you are completely dead for my life. This is where he pushes Orochimaru away, and this is where, well, mostly Naruto says, detonate off. This is where, well, before Orochimaru can do anything, strings appear all around his body, just cutting him into a million pieces from inside his body. And this is where, well, mostly Orochimaru is dead now. He cannot come back to life. This is where, well, Naruto says pathetic. This is where, well, mostly the strings were actually right now closing in, cutting through all the ninjas. This is where, well, Naruto looks at mostly the Hokage and even Zabuza, and right now just uses his own strings, open it up in the mid-air, and right now pull them out and throw them back into the ground. This is where, well, Hiruzen says, Naruto, wait, I need to Naruto says, no, I need one more person to murder. He appears right in front of the council room because, yeah, he uses body flicker. And right now, orange energy is appearing around him. He sees none other than Danzo, Hakuro, or whatever the hell their names are, and just cut them down in an instant. Did not care one bit. Just murdered through them. Right now, Itachi is dealing with his little brother. Kisame is also doing something. But right now, they're inside the damn little string barrier. And of course, Naruto did not save Sasuke, Sai, or Sasuke. He did not care. He did save Kakashi, but whatever. But other than that, this is where, well, mostly the Uchiha brothers are having to deal with mostly the strings. This is where, well, mostly, right now Itachi is trying to use Armature, so they're not even working. He uses Susanoo, and Susanoo literally gets cut. This is where he winds his eyes. These strings are much more deadly than ever. This is where Kisame uses his attack, and they didn't do shit. He even used Hamahara, and that shit just got cut in an instant. He winded his eyes when his blade was gone. This is where all the remaining forces just wind their eyes. They're nothing going to just die. They're sending attacks left and right, but there's nothing happening to the strings. Closing in like nothing but a cage bird. Closer, closer. This is where, well, they all try to use the ground. Mostly someone tried to dig underneath to try to escape the strings. But that's not happening because the strings go farther than that. This is where, well, mostly underneath. This is where everyone says, are we dead? This is where, well, Itachi says, we are dead. This is where, well, mostly Itachi then thinks of something to actually use. The Inuzaki to try to get out of this. But before that, mostly Naruto appears right now shooting strings into his eye. Because he knows the pain of the Uchiha. Right now, well, not the pain, he just had a future sight. Since his opposition knocking has increased with mostly range, his also future sight has actually increased. So of course he saw what fucking Itachi was going to do. So of course shot the eyes out. This is where Itachi falls down to the ground. Right now making Sasuke says, you bastard! What the hell? Aren't you going to save us? This is where Naruto says, no, I'm not going to save you. I killed Root, Sai, so there's no more Root. I killed Danzo. I killed also the last remaining Uchihas, which you're not going to be paying later on. I also killed Sasuke's mother and her fucking family, and also all the civilian council members. So truly, no, I'm not going to save you. Goodbye, you weaklings. This is where Naruto like, this is where, well, he's right now seeing the last remaining members just get cut and splattered to blood. Shh. This is where, well, we go into a time skip later on. Right now, it's now that mostly Naruto and, well, Menma are actually going to have to go find Tsunade. Tsunade don't want to come back to the village, but Naruto forced her ass to go back to the village by kicking the shit out of her and smashing her across multiple trees. Shizune tries to attack mostly Naruto, but this is where Menma appears, right now stopping her in an instant. Right now, kind of punching her in the stomach and using a bit of mostly the advanced type of armament hawking, knocking her out, mostly a bit of energy, but yeah. But he learned it thanks to mostly Naruto. And yes, the village is slowly being rebuilt, thanks to the fact that a lot of things happen. Now, Hiruzen was shocked to hear that the old kind of birds got killed, mostly the old kind of head birds or whatever, and even Danzo and his roots and other people died. The last Uchiha being dead and other things. But yeah, Naruto on the other hand has been quite well off. No more dealing with people kind of sucking off the Uchiha and no more other shit. So yeah, they call him the hero, but they shouldn't be calling him the hero. He's none other than the heavy demon himself. He is not a hero, but whatever. But we go into mostly a time skip of mostly Tsunade becoming the new Hokage after getting the shit fucking stomped out of her by none other than the heavily demon itself. You see here, Naruto has actually been close to being out of an S-rank ninja. And even worse than the fact that mostly 2-year time skip actually appeared after mostly Naruto was kind of going. But yeah, mostly 2 years happened, but Naruto went off to do his own thing to train out of the village, while mostly Menma trained with mostly Jiraiya, but of course, not the point. We go into 2 years coming back. Naruto is now about 10 feet. Yes, he is 17, he's now around 10 feet. Or not 10 feet, 8 feet entirely. This where, well, mostly he got so tall. This where, well, he also has a group of, mostly the group that he created a while ago is called the Joker family. But yeah, but not the point. This family is infiltrating information and other shit, but yeah. And since there's no Mizukage or Kazekage, the Mizukage actually became none other than what's called Mei. while the Kazekage, they didn't really have an heir to go for it. Well, I mean, except for Tamara and Conqueror, since they managed to escape. Yeah, somehow, but not the point. But other than that, wait, let me pause this for a second. So, while mostly Naruto came back to the village, he is now 17. Well, yeah, it's not 17, no. It wasn't 2 years. It was actually mostly, what the fuck? I thought he was mostly 15 for some reason. But no, mostly he came back after mostly like, well, not 4, mostly 5 years later. Yes, he is now 17, and this is where, well, he grown up to be a young kind of man who's actually 8 feet tall, with mostly a group of his own, an organization that mostly protects, well, mostly doesn't protect much, but yeah, it protects the family and does a lot of other things. It's like infiltrating other things, but yeah, it's a group full of mostly rogue shinobis, but not entirely, and also mostly kids that didn't actually have a home. So yeah. But other than that, mostly Naruto is actually considered to be the leader. He's the Joker. He's the heavenly demon himself. He's a hero, but a demon while being a hero. He's the true heavenly demon. This where, well, everyone in the village was shocked to see Naruto. Even Rosanante, because he came around 4 years ago. So he was 16 when he came back. But yeah, but Naruto came back when he was 17. But yeah. This is where, well, Naruto was walking around the village until he noticed, well, none other than, well, Sarina, who's actually kind of grew up to be a young, respectful, beautiful woman. This is where, well, she kind of noticed Naruto and said, Dofi? This is where, well, Naruto says, Sarina? This is where, well, they both blushed at each other's sight because mostly Naruto isn't wearing a shirt and he's quite ripped, while Sarina was actually kind of, well, she was wearing her kind of like outfit, which it was kind of tight and mostly showing her voluptuous kind of like opie and also mostly her, yeah, rear. And this is where, oh, mostly she's like, hey, Naruto. I mean, not Naruto, Dofi. This is where, well, Naruto was looking away saying, yeah, Sarina. This is where, well, in his head, two people say, oh my fucking god, just already kissed her and shut the fuck up already, you damn annoying asshole. This is where, well, mostly Naruto feels red, but this is where, well, mostly he feels like someone kissed him in the mouth. This is where when he opened his eyes, he kind of noticed Sarina. Sarina says, I'm happy that you're back, jerk. She punches him in the chest really hard and says, ow. This is where, well, Naruto says, why the hell he did that? Because I was angry. I thought you came around mostly when it was 4 years, but you came around 5 years, jerk. I was doing some things. Leave me alone. This is where, well, Sarina scoffs and says, This is where, well, Naruto says, I can make it up to you. Wanna go on a date? This is where, well, Sarina's face becomes red and says, sure. This is where, well, mostly they kind of both smile. And of course, this is where, well, mostly Rosano kind of appears saying, I'm so proud of my daughter and my new son-in-law appearing together, being a happy couple. This is where, well, mostly Sarina's face becomes red completely, while Naruto becomes red and says, son-in-law? This is where, well, mostly Rosano says, oh, I should have mentioned. You see here, Sarina has been waiting for you for 5 years. She was actually a little bit angry from the fact that you didn't came back when you were 16. But now that she gets to see you, a good look at you, she's now really thinking about that marriage kind of whole complex that me and her mother kind of did. This is where, well, we'll see Naruto winds his eyes and looks at Sarina, and Sarina kind of blushes and says, shut up. It's that you loved me from the very beginning. I knew it. I was so good looking in the very beginning. This is where Sarina takes confidence and says, and you know what, screw you. This is where Naruto smiles and says, besides, you are also beautiful. This is where Sarina blushes and says, shut up and let's just go. But yeah, we go into mostly a time skip of, yes, mostly that one person from the moon did attack the Leaf Village, but of course, mostly Menma was the one to defeat him pretty easily by going into mostly a Kurama fusion mode, basically a yellow mode, and this is where, well, he kicked the shit out of fucking, well, mostly that guy up in the moon. But yeah, of course, same with Hinata, but he didn't marry Hinata because, well, Hakim didn't like any girl kind of going near her man. But yeah, so of course Hinata kind of married someone else. But yeah, but this is actually where I'm gonna leave it off. Yes, Naruto did have kids in the future. Yes, his organization will keep growing bigger. It's not a part of the Leaf Village. It's actually a part of its own. But yeah, other than that, that all happened. And yeah. But other than that, I'll be leaving it off here for part... Well, not part 6. Mostly, I'll be ending it off on part 6. Yes, I want to end it off this what if. Other what ifs, I might change this story, whatever I was continue on, I would try to finish it. But yes, it took 2 days to finish this part. But yeah, because yesterday I fell asleep because I was tired. Other than that, bye, seeing ya, and see ya. Well, yeah. Well, not bye, see ya, yeah. Potato, 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 not potato, potato, and bye bye.